Hi guys, welcome back. Hope everybody is doing fantastic wherever you are in this world. Happy Thursday. Before we get into the video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you'll be notified each time I upload. And as you guys can see, I have been so inconsistent with my uploads due to the kids being homeschooled, and I do apologize about that. I just want to say a huge thank you to all you guys for your kindness, for your support. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, and I truly appreciate you guys. So let me make my quick disclaimer before we get into it. Please feel free to do your own research. Don't take what I say as fact. This is purely my opinions, my observations, and what I think. So you guys, KJ actually had her victory lap, and she did a live where she was answering people's burning questions, which lasted for nearly 2.5 hours. And I could not believe my eyes. I truly could not believe my eyes. This Katie that we saw reminded me of the old Katie prior to actually being sued by Tati. And it just blew my mind. She answered so many questions. She was so confident. She was so arrogant, in my opinion. KJ kept on saying that she doesn't know what will happen in the future in regard to if Tati will file in Minnesota or if she won't file. But this is what truly stuck out to me. It's a win for Katie in regards to they may not bother to file in Minnesota, and I have concrete info that could be detrimental to them, but we can't say publicly what that is. Does anybody else find that strange? I'm like, something doesn't seem right. I mean, KJ keeps saying that she doesn't know what the future holds. I get that. But her husband, that's a moderator on a channel, let me read that to you one more time. It's a win for Katie in regards to they may not bother to file in Minnesota, and I have concrete info that could be detrimental to them. What could be so detrimental to them? You know, I've sat on the statement and I can't seem, I mean, it's not for me to figure out, but that is just weird. It is so weird. In this video, so much was confirmed. For example, Katie Joy's dislike for Emily D. Baker. She made it clear she does not like Emily D. Baker. So that has been settled. And also she made it known that where everybody's coming up with these 6 figures that she paid for attorneys, it wasn't even close to $100,000, and that she paid her own legal fees. And you know what, I'm not the type of person that's going to go look in the next person's pocket or want to know what's going on in the next person's bank accounts. It's just not my business. But it's also very interesting to know and to find out, like, during a legal process like this, how much people truly are paying. And especially if you come on your channel and you crying crocodile tears on how you don't want to go bankrupt. Now she's confident she's not going bankrupt, okay? And all the money that she's using for legal fees is supposed to be for her son, and how her channel is dying and she's worked so hard for it. So KJ, you were coming on your channel asking people to support your channel, asking people for super chats and how expensive legal fees are. So now your head is inflated because you've gotten off with this dismissal. So I don't know. And she also made it very clear that she will, if Tati does file in Minnesota, she will keep her lawyer, Brown. But that also makes me think, because remember in one of the declarations, Brown actually said that he will never take another YouTube case. And also KJ made this weird statement. Maybe she's just obsessed with cults, that any group is basically a cult, because she stated that all the anti-KJ groups, they are cult too now. So weird, very weird. You guys, she came for everybody you could think of. And this is the thing that just blows my mind. It truly blows my mind. It's the fact that KJ always says she's such an advocate for women, how she stands behind women. But every person she went after in her life was a woman. Example, Natalie Kennett, okay? The woman that was in the declaration. Now she has a soft spot for Lori-Ann. She's putting Lori-Ann's mental state out there. Why? Why, KJ? Not your place. Leave Lori-Ann alone. She's been through hell and back because of you. All that woman, in my opinion, wanted from the get-go was to clear somebody else's name. But in my opinion, she was dragged through the mud. I'm not saying she's innocent in any way, shape, or form for all that she had done in the past. But what I'm saying now is that why does KJ have the right to put her personal stuff out there? Why? Just so now she can come and look like the good guy. If all that were lies, what we saw in that declaration, KJ, with you mass flagging, with your husband being in the chat thanking people for mass flagging other channels, was that all lies? Was that a figment of our imagination? That just truly bothers me. How can you be an advocate for women, but just go and just totally go out and try to degrade these people, these women? She went after EKC People Suck. You guys, I enjoy her compilation video. She is absolutely hilarious. Hilarious. What she does on her channel, if I don't agree with, I'll click off. But who are we to tell the next person what to do on their channel? It's not our place. It truly is not our place. I've tried to have so much compassion for KJ, but I've come to the conclusion it was all just a facade. KJ is the biggest instigator of accusing other people of gaslighting. She's the master of gaslighting, in my opinion. She confirmed that she dislikes Emily D. Baker. She even made a statement that she has evidence of Emily D. Baker defaming her, but she can't show us. She made it known that Emily D. Baker, there's hundreds and hundreds of tweets of Emily D. Baker defaming her, calling her out on her looks, and many other things. I went down a rabbit hole. I went through every tweet of Emily D. Baker, which at this point made me think, what am I missing? What did I miss? And I just have no words. I truly have no words. She also made it known that she's asked Emily D. Baker so many times to be truthful with her audience. Has anybody that watches Emily D. Baker had an issue with feeling misled? Because as I say once again, I've watched Uncivil, Nate the Lawyer, and Emily D. Baker. Uncivil and Nate have the utmost respect for Emily D. Baker. Not everybody's going to agree, but now because Uncivil is her hero, because he's the one that took her part in her mind, he's the best thing going. She accused Emily D. Baker of giving light to declarations that were false. How do we know it was false? Because you said so? I'm just saying. My whole point here is that if you are an advocate for women, why come on your channel or go on your social media and disparage other women? She kept on saying that Emily D. Baker was leading people on to believe that the judge actually dismissed the case because she didn't want to deal with them. Katie, have you ever heard of layman's terms? I suggest you look that up. Then she was asked about would she go into mediation to settle this out of court, and she was like, oh yes, absolutely would, but I don't think, you know what, it's just left to be seen. She says that Emily D. Baker should be covering this lawsuit as a legal authority. Are we in a courtroom or are we in YouTube? Which is it? Katie is such a hypocrite herself. It's amazing. It truly is amazing. But you know what? What did Emily do differently than what Uncivil and Nate, the ones that she's holding up on a pedestal right now, which I mean no disrespect to them? What did they do differently than Emily did? Then she went on to once again make the statement that if this lawsuit went on, Emily D. Baker would have been part of this lawsuit. How, KJ? How? But this was the most shocking, was when somebody brought up in the comments about the death threats that Emily's family was going through. Immediately, she totally disregarded that comment and was like, oh, I went through so many death threats, but let me not go there. So are you trying to get to the point of Emily's family is totally irrelevant, you more superior to them? So after KJ made her live that night, she went onto her Twitter and she kept on going after Emily D. Baker. But let's just take a look at her Twitter. The judge did not throw anything out because she didn't want to deal with it. The law was not met for jurisdiction, and every declaration was proven irrelevant to both the claims of the case and jurisdiction. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Who's that aimed at? You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. Then she goes on and says, Emily is a member of the bar and it's her ethical duty to treat counsel and officers of the court with respect, and she did not treat my attorney nor the judge respectfully. With her audience referring to our judge as Babs, you should always refer to her as judge, period. Really, KJ? This, you guys, is mind fucking blowing. So KJ has all the right to be snarky, but nobody else can be snarky. Wow. I said it tonight and I'll say it again. Emily Baker is and continues to be biased. Believe the lies she spews and say she just read court records. She was clear in her dislike for me, and she said it as much on Twitter multiple times and mocked me. She helped create the clown. If anybody can point me in the direction to see where Emily D. Baker mocked her, I would totally appreciate it. But let's move on. Then she goes on and she says, this is something that's just a side note, but it just proves to you KJ is going back to her old ways. Newsflash, Dustin and Nick have always been this way. Why were people okay with Dustin and Nick's behavior when they targeted people they don't like? But when they go after people they like, then they are bad. They are both willing to push false narratives for their friends, allegedly. Now she knows the word allegedly. Now she's taking things a bit too far. I'm not here in defense of anybody. If you feel Nick or Dustin's a shitty person, good for you. That's on you. I'm not taking anything away from you. Some people will come and say I'm biased. It's irrelevant at this point. We're talking about Dustin's mother, you guys. A person that raised him, that he cannot be there for right now. Pain is fucking pain. Irrelevant, no matter how you look at it. I'm sorry if you totally disagree with me, but put yourself in his shoes. Forget about the negative feelings for him right now. Imagine if you were in that position. If you feel he's a negative person, put yourself as him as a negative person. But you're going through this pain of knowing you cannot be with your mother in this trying time. Let him go through what he needs to go through. Don't push that knife in and twist it, because you never know if you could be in those shoes one day. Remember KJ said, put yourself in my shoes. Now all of a sudden she forgets that. She forgets that. So she feels now's the time to go after him. When he's in pain, he cannot even be with his mother. That is fucked up. To anybody that's going after Dustin, there was a comment on his video which made me sick to my stomach, you guys. Who does that? This is just beyond me. It truly is beyond me. For me personally, I will continue to be praying for Dustin and his family and his mom, and you guys, we all have hearts. Just give him space, because I'm sure if anybody else was in that situation, they would want the same thing. But like I say, if you can, please say a prayer for Dustin's mom. Send out positive energy for him. But for now, let's be decent human beings. Let's get back to KJ and this whole Emily situation. This is, again, I'm going to state, a woman that says she's an advocate for women. Why does she dislike Emily D. Baker this much? Why? Because it just makes no sense. In my opinion, Emily was not doing anything differently than what Uncivil was doing or Nate was doing. Uncivil even went and had negative things to say about Brown, and so did Nate. But she's not coming after them for that, but she's coming after Emily D. Baker. And this is my theory, this is just my opinion. It all boils down to jealousy. For the mere fact is that Emily D. Baker is hilarious as fuck. She's relatable, she's likable, she's as classy as hell. She truly is. And you know what? I don't need to blow smoke up Emily D. Baker's backside. I'm good with my life. I wouldn't change anything for the world. But let's give credit where credit is due, okay? She's absolutely loved. Everybody loves. Have you been to one of her lives? She has from 5,000 to 7,000 people in her lives, especially with this whole KJ. If there's a filing, she has between 5,000 and 7,000. I don't even think KJ sees 500. And I mean no disrespect, but it's the truth, you know. She's successful, growing rapidly on YouTube. And in true Katie fashion, she points out that people are making thousands of dollars. KJ, didn't you make thousands of dollars on Amber Portwood, Micah Staffer? And let's not mention the super chats, you guys. Imagine the super chats. When she sees all those super chats going. I'm not being mean. I truly am not being mean. But it's just hilarious. Can you imagine how it irks, how it gets under Katie Joy's skin to see how, and nobody can tell me that she doesn't watch Emily's videos. Come on. Come on, people. You must be living under a rock. She definitely watches Emily's videos to recognize that Emily has so many people, how rapidly she's growing. You can recognize the hypocrisy of everybody else, but you can't recognize your own hypocrisy. It just blows my mind once again how she has not learned a damn thing from this experience. And she makes it known she's got nothing to learn from this experience. So you guys, I'm going to leave it as that. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Let's have an open discussion, because you know what, at the end of the day, it's like, does it really pay to be jealous, mean and nasty the way she is being towards Emily? Finding every fault. It's like, jack of all trades and a master at none. You know, now you're trying to tell Emily, that has been a prosecutor for how many years, that has gone through law school, how to act ethically. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. But please, if somebody can explain this, I would truly, truly appreciate it. Or even what he's alluding to. And I'm going to read it again because I just cannot get it out of my mind. It's a win for Katie in regards to they may not bother to file in Minnesota, and I have concrete info that could be detrimental to them. But we can't say publicly what that is. I would truly appreciate somebody's response. That I truly would. You guys have a fantastic weekend. I'm hoping to have another video out by probably Saturday because there is so much more to talk about. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, ring the notification. I can't even speak. The notification bell. And please be kind to one another. Don't forget to wear your mask. Be safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.